is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Comey Media Incorporated. The man that ain't hard to find seems to not be hard to hate. Who and why? Next on Mentality. Welcome to another installment and rendition of Mentality, the place where iron sharpens iron in the realm of health, wealth, mental health, love, entrepreneurship, and brotherhood, all from a man's perspective. I am one half of this team, one of the co-hosts of Mentality, Cole Johnson, and I am joined as always by the other half of this team, the man who is called Wize, aka Wize and How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing well. Excited for another episode of Mentality.
Donald Trump, yes, his campaign actually confirmed last week that he will skip this week's Republican presidential debate. We will talk about that later on in this episode. And why? Well, he plans instead to visit the Detroit area to speak with the United Auto Workers. Now, the former president has long hinted that he would not attend the debate that's going to be held at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum in Simi Valley, citing his large lead in a series of Republican polls. But this is also a political move as well for his own benefit because Michigan is set to be a key battleground state in next year's general election. So I will ask this question to you, sir. What could Trump gain from paying a visit to the United Auto Workers?
That's a lot of people in Detroit, man. That's a lot of jobs. A lot of people. If you get them on your side, it's a union. If you get them behind you, it could probably swing that battle state in your direction. A lot of families rely off of the auto industry in Detroit, and
Right.
so if you can go there and sway them and tell them, hey, I'm for you guys. I'm here to help you guys make more money and whatever it is. You if you get those votes, man, it can really impact on that key battleground state.
Yeah. And it's funny when people in a general election they talk about the Rust Belt, they feature Ohio, they feature Pennsylvania. They don't really feature Michigan as hard or as much, which I find mind-boggling. And I'm thinking that has to be one of the most key of states, simply because, like you said, the auto industry has made a living being in that state. So yeah, I agree. If you can make hay, if you can uh, build a presence there, and and be an ally to the United Auto Workers or UAW, then yeah, you will have a leg up on anybody else, whether no matter which political side you lean, in terms of how far you can go and how far you can push things in the labor's favor, I should say.
Hmm. Well, it's important to know that again, they are a big part of what both parties want to do. If you can get the UAW behind you, it's a big boost for your campaign. And it's not like he even needs more of a boost. We're gonna talk about it later, but
Hmm.
they're so behind him right now that this is just this is just icing on the cake for him.
Hmm. A guy that you wouldn't expect actually being in Washington visited there. Uh, Migos rapper Quavo decided to pay the vice president a visit, and the reason being is the tragedy that he discovered well, that he discovered the tragedy he experienced in the Houston shooting of his nephew Takeoff. Uh, that is weighing heavily on him, and it's a disturbing sight that he doesn't want anyone else to experience. So, through his pain, Quavo found his purpose as a vocal advocate against gun violence, and he met privately with some powerful political figures, the most powerful of them being, of course, the Vice President Kamala Harris. And then he was expected to speak on a panel about combating the issue during the Congressional Black Caucus Legislative Conference this past Wednesday in Washington. So he talked about, of course, the untimely death of his nephew, and he felt as though that his calling for anybody normally comes at least expected times, and he just feels the loss of his nephew. Now, my question to you, sir, is how can the fatal tragedy of Takeoff help Quavo in his fight against gun violence?
Uh, it's crazy because there's a lot of people out there who suffered gun violence, who's experienced losing someone to gun violence, and it's something we've been combating for years. Like this is something even when I
Mhm.
was growing up, I lost a friend who was murdered. So that there are times where and look at Chicago, the violence that goes on in Chicago with these young men getting murdered.
Yeah,
It's happening.
tragic. Yeah, tragic.
And the thing is, guns aren't produced in the hood.
They
Again,
are not, sir.
I am we every time we talk about this, I am a registered gun owner. I believe that we have the right to bear arms.
And I'm with you on that. Although I don't
And
own a
and to,
weapon at the moment, I would.
and to
Yeah,
protect, and yeah, it's for my protection and my family's protection.
right.
I'm not
Hmm.
here saying, "Oh, we need to have," no, but guns aren't manufactured in the hood. How are these guns getting in the hood? How are these guns getting in these young man's hands? Where's it coming from?
Gosh, man. If that doesn't sound like stuff that we would hear back when we were in high school, when we would have when these conversations would be had, and it would probably be people our ages now having them. And it's like, look, you can talk about you know wanting to arrest the ones who are wielding the weapons, but you see gun manufacturers or gun manufacturing factories in the hood? No, you don't. So why don't you go after them? But of course, we both know why they don't.
Of course not.
Yeah. It's unfortunately too profitable to do so. So you deal with this unfortunate cyclical thing of, well, there's violence in the hood. Well, we need to curb guns. Well, it's not the guns
Well,
that's an issue,
oh,
it's the people's the issue. And
so
then you're like, okay, well, then we have to curb the wrong people who have the guns. Then you go to Washington, and then Washington is like, well, I'm sorry, we getting rich off of these people. And then you have the same issue all over again. And the same conversation all over again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And that's why we need platforms like this one where we talking to the youth and explaining to them that we need better. We need to be more involved in talking to this younger generation. Like we need to get people that have lived that lifestyle
Mhm.
and gain nothing from it, and show these kids that there is a future. There are things you can learn to to better your life. You don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to live in the streets. You don't have to hustle. You don't
Mhm.
have to grind.
Mhm.
Like right now is the opportunity. There's an opportunity for everyone to do something in this market.
Yeah.
But if we're not taught that and we're not shown that, hey, anybody can do this, anybody can, if you really focus and work hard and create content, you can be successful at it and find something that's not violent.
Right.
That or find skills to learn.
Mhm.
It's still different now. You're able to learn using YouTube
Mhm.
and learn different topics and do things to better yourself. Either if it's with crafts or construction, whatever there's something on YouTube that is there to help you and learn this. Like right now, there's so much information out there for you to build and learn something that's gonna help better your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And once that happens, you'll be able to help better other people's lives. I mean, that's why this platform exists, because that's the energy that we both have. And yes, this platform, we do support gun ownership, but
Mhm.
we support responsible gun ownership. So when
Yeah.
anybody were to say, yeah, that show is all about the Wild Wild West. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. We subscribe to in there. There's a lyric in the remixed version of "How I Could Just Kill a Man" by Cypress Hill, where B Real says, "quote Self defense turns to the offense." Close quote. That's pretty much how we are. That's what we
Yeah.
believe, because we believe that we should defend our family and protect our family with everything necessary for it to
Mhm.
happen.
We're not looking for it. We're not out there
No,
looking for it. Not said we're
no.
not there. Like I said, I'm still learning. I when I go shooting, I go with my friend who trains me and shows me how to properly clean,
Mhm,
shoot, load my
mhm.
weapon. I'm not someone that I'm not a gangbanger. I'm not so I want to really truly learn how to be a gun owner.
Yeah.
So I want someone who knows to teach me.
We're just getting started. Mentality will return. There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. Four men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Doc, and H-Rap B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap B always predicts,
If I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wize El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wize El Jefe, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Welcome back to Mentality, where men are men and not toys, with Wize and Cole. I am Cole Johnson. And speaking of toys, unfortunately, I think there is one man who sort of thought that a person probably was one, but he learned quickly otherwise. And I think others have to learn this lesson as well. What do I mean? Well, check out this champion story in celebrity style. Dwyane Wade was recently on Club Shay Shay, and Shannon, of course, did his wonderful job of interviewing the three-time NBA champion, and he got candid. And he talked about the infidelity period of 10 years ago, and he said the fathering a child during the brief 2013 split with his now wife, Gabrielle Union, it has had a lasting impact on their marriage, which has still lingered on to today. Now, along with that, Wade said to Shannon, quote, "It hasn't been perfect. It will never be perfect. But that was years ago. We go to therapy. We've been to therapy. We've had shouts about it. We've had regular conversations about it. And so it's going to continue to be something that I have to work at and work on. It doesn't go away because years come or because I say sorry." Close quote. At the time, the now 41-year-old said it was all scary, the whole situation of actually saying to Gabrielle that he went outside of the relationship and cheated. So I begin by asking this, putting ourselves in Dwayne's shoes and thinking about if we were to do something of that nature to our wives, but knowing the fabric of man that you and I are, what keeps you what keeps you being faithful to your wife?
The fact that unless you bring in something, unless you bring what she's bringing to the table, which is, yeah, she has her ways, she's stubborn in her ways and whatever, but she is loyal. Like she sees in me what sometimes I lack. Like sometimes when I don't see the vision, she sees it and pushes me to get there. So nowadays, women don't want that. They want a man that's already made.
Mhm.
But when you're with someone that build something together, and you want someone that's there, like, yeah, we're gonna build this together. It's not gonna be like, oh, he's got to be doing it all. No, we're building this empire together. What did you need? What part of this you need me to do?
Right.
And to have that kind of support is like, chick, unless you're bringing that kind of support and that kind of loyalty, there's there's no need for me to step out. Like,
Right.
I know what I got at home.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm at least now I'm at a point where I've always been the kind of, I don't say, like, my wife is a couple of years older than me, and I've
Mhm.
always been a guy that's been attracted to older women. It's never been like I'm. So to me, I'm at the point where I'm trying to build something here. She's trying to build something, and we're
Mhm.
just motivated and pushing each other.
How troubling can your own thoughts be when you are simply by yourself?
Very troubling. There's times where you creep back into the old you, where you have that self doubt, and you don't have that belief in yourself. Because there's been times where even with myself that I've allowed myself to revert to doubting myself and doubting my skills and doubting my ability.
Mhm.
And then, but where I'm blessed at is I have a circle of people that tell me and show me that, dude, you're special. You got something in you. Let's
Mhm.
go. So to have a team like that, to have family, friends
Mhm.
that see something in you and tell you constantly that they see it,
Yeah.
it overcomes those moments where that doubt might creep in. And again, we're human. We're normal. We're regular. We're human beings. It's natural for sometimes to doubt to creep in.
Yeah.
It's when we stay wallowing in that doubt and wallowing in that, oh, like, no, it's not me. I don't. Whatever excuses you tell yourself,
Mhm.
you need to realize that, especially again, it's like there's times where I don't feel like I'm any good. But then I start interviewing people, and people that I don't know from anywhere that we've just met and interviewed, and they come out and say, "Man, great show. I love it. Thank you. You're very talented."
Mhm.
They don't have to tell me. This is like we're doing this off the air. So they
Right.
don't have to tell me this off the air.
Right.
They don't need. They be like, "Yo, tell me what you need me to do. How can I help you
Mhm.
spread your message? How can I help you grow and build?" And that just like helps me with those moments where, like I said, when I'm doubt myself, I got to go back to those moments and reflect and look at those and be like, I am good. Let's get
Mhm.
out this funk. It's time to get up.
Now, Gabrielle wrote in her memoir in 2021 that if she were to go through this now, as just opposed to 10 years ago, she would advise that woman to leave. So, why do you think Gabrielle did not leave Dwayne after finding out about his infidelity?
I don't know. I guess she saw something. She was like, this is my man. I'm gonna tough it out. It it's I don't know. I really can't say. I really
Mm.
I don't know what I would have done in that position if I was in that sort of position.
Mhm.
Would I've left? Would I want to be in a relationship where your significant other cheated? Like, again, this is gonna be something that's gonna be every time he goes away. Are you
Mhm.
thinking he's cheating?
Mhm.
Especially the first few months of the first year, the first few years of after the adultery, the affair or whatever.
Mhm.
She's gonna be like, it's gonna always be in the back of her mind every time he goes out. Or is he meeting up with some new home?
Mhm.
So you got to think: do you want to put yourself through that? Where you cannot trust him every time he goes out of town?
Mhm.
Now I see why they moved out of Miami.
That's one of the reasons why. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's Miami's very tempting.
Mhm.
You go out, go clubbing, go out anywhere. You got beautiful women throwing themselves at you all the time. Like, listen, don't get me wrong, Gabrielle Union is beautiful,
Cheers.
but men are weak when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. How can they move on from dealing with infidelity even with infertility issues lurking and child being created out of this relationship?
You gotta be willing to move on, man. You can't, like, again, if every time he goes out, you're gonna be texting him 24/7. You need to show me a video where you're at, whatever it is that why,
Ooh.
like, why would you want to put yourself through this? So either you accept that he stepped out
Mhm.
and move on from it. We're not saying that you need to forget,
No.
but if you want to move on, you need to forgive.
Now that is necessary.
If you're wanting this relationship to last and you wanting to move on, you're gonna have to move on. You're gonna have to be like, all right, dude, you stepped out. I can't do nothing about it now, but
Mhm.
I want us to work out. If you say I want us to work out and move on, then you need to be able to be not holding this against them.
Yeah, every chance
You can't be like, oh, I can't believe you cheated on me with that whatever it is. Like, when his son comes around, you gotta treat him just like you would treat his other kids. Because they have nothing to do with it.
Mentality will be back in 2 and 2.
You have to learn to live with yourself before you can make a commitment of yourself to someone else.
When you go to something that's already structured, like the church, I don't need to go in there thinking I'm the pastor. It's like already one set up. You know what I'm saying?
It just had everything. But I learned, you know what I'm saying? Everything I did, I learned from.
So we look forward to seeing you same time, same place. Know that we love you, God loves you more. Continue to stay safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble.
Conversation that informs a community. Brothers of Legacy. Every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Welcome back to Mentality, the show that is for all men with Wize and Cole. I am Cole Johnson. Man, I'm just enjoying this. And we're about to enjoy this even further. Because let's face it, we're about to laugh silly with what we're about to talk about. Here is Politically Speaking. The GOP, yes, the Republican Party, and all of their presidential candidates will be on display yet again this week, this Wednesday, actually, And it will come, as I said earlier in this episode, from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute. Now, the building that is in Simi Valley, California, and California being this is where the former president was a governor of, and that's of course his homeland, or was his homeland. Now we'll host 6 candidates, not 8, but 6. They will likely hit that stage, and it's of course a dip from the 8 that represented the Milwaukee debates that took place 5 weeks prior. Now, you can
2
watch
dropped out.
well, 2 not necessarily dropped out. 2 just simply didn't qualify for
Basically, they
qualification.
dropped out. Just let's say they just dropped out. They have no shot at winning, and they're like, dude, we know you're not gonna win. We know you're not even gonna come close to winning. So you're not invited. All right, they dropped out. Okay.
Okay. All right. So yes, from from the wonderful explanation, yes, they didn't qualify, but from Wise's understanding, yes, they dropped out because the GOP went to them and said, "Now you know darn well when we get to the RNC next summer, people ain't gonna remember your name, so you might as well drop out and support whoever is
Concede now.
going to be coming from the party.
DeSantis
Concede now and just support whoever comes to the party."
DeSantis follow suit.
So you can watch this debate, which will be going on Wednesday, from Fox Business and Univision. And those and the ones who are going to be panelists on it will be Fox News Media's Stuart Varney and Dana Perino, and you will have Univision's Ilia Calderon. And Miss Calderon will be the first ever Afro-Latina to moderate the Republican primary debate. Now, the 6 that qualified: former South Carolina governor and former UN ambassador Nikki Haley, businessman from Ohio Vivek Ramaswamy, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Vice President and former Indiana Governor Mike Pence, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
So the dude from North Dakota didn't make it, or South Dakota. Who was it?
Yeah, North Dakota. Yeah, Governor Doug Burgum.
Like I said,
he did.
Nothing. I knew the dude from the Dakotas wasn't gonna make it. I knew this. Did I not predict this? Did I not say, dude, you're from North Dakota? Like, seriously, just quit. And
you represent the Dakotas, quit. I'm like, wow, that is cold.
Is that not what I said?
That is what you said. It's just so
he's
cold.
No longer here, like, right?
No.
Right, my point proven.
It's like, okay, so why do you say he's a dropout? Well, he represents Dakotas. No one's going to vote for whoever's going to represent Dakotas. I was like, oh, that's just foul. But here we are, from the first to the second presidential debate.
The dude from the Dakotas is no longer in the running.
No. So yes, Governor Doug Burgum, who's North Dakota's governor, and former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson aren't, or at least, they aren't going to be participating in this event. So I will start the questioning with this. What do these candidates have to do? Well, I can say need, but what do these candidates have to do to make you pay attention to them?
Concede.
And again. Oh, wow. You will pay attention to them if they concede.
If they just quit.
Wow.
If they just drop out. Because you're about to get embarrassed again by someone who is not there. All y'all gonna get mopped up, and they're gonna probably ask the same stupid question. How many of y'all are gonna support former President Donald Trump if he wins the election bid? And y'all all gonna raise your hands. Just please, do yourselves a favor. Yeah, do yourselves a favor. Yeah, that's Missy waving like,
Yes.
please, man. We know you. Oh my God. They just don't need to give up. Like, y'all about to get abused again by someone who's not showing up. And I wonder if he's gonna probably jump double digits again in the lead. Like, what they like 60%. I think he'll probably be like 70% by the end of this debate. Even before the start of this debate, people gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm voting for Trump." Let me cut. Like, this DeSantis didn't do anything. Ramaswamy is I had hope for him, but I've seen a couple of interviews and he's a flip flopper. He's a flip flopper. I don't like flip floppers. Nikki Haley, again, who? Tim Scott, Token Negro.
Ouch.
Ron DeSantis.
Oh Lord.
The mouse is kicking your Chris Christie is just a heart attack. He's just 3 cheeseburgers away from a heart attack.
So that leaves Pence. So that'd be cool. Trump versus Pence.
What? Who, the traitor? That's what they acknowledge him as. That's how his own party can acknowledge him as the traitor.
Not who, the traitor.
The traitor. That's what I'm hearing from in the inner circles, that he is a traitor. That's not my opinion of him.
You ain't wrong.
I'm just saying this is the opinion of people inside the Republican Party that are Trump supporters through and through.
Yeah, you ain't wrong, because that's exactly what they call him. Oh my. So who must have a standout debate and who must not falter?
The DeSantis must not falter, because he is getting slapped around right now. At one point he looked like one of the clear-cut favorites, and right now he's looking like a little. So DeSantis needs to come out and grow some balls and be like, listen, I am a better alternative than someone who's been indicted 4 times. And like, this dude needs to come out firing shots. Like, he has no balls. None of them have balls. Come out firing shots. Like, y'all want this man in office who's been indicted 4 times for what?
If we're going to compare, look, Donald Trump is Michael Jackson. The others are the other Jackson brothers.
Yeah, the rest of Tito, Marlon, Jermaine.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just how it
Randy.
is.
Oh, it's not Randy.
Well, yeah, Randy was later, but the Jackson 5, Tito, Jackie, Marlon, and Jermaine.
Yeah.
Oh my. But so the rock star will cast a big shadow again on the debates later this week. Now, how in the world can they counteract the huge chasm that is between themselves and I do agree with you when you call Donald Trump this, the Republican Party's rock star? Later, we will have thoughts from the throne. This is Mentality. Football, and more football, you say? Well, tune in to Total Football Talk. Join your hosts, Drew Willingham.
You were playing like a dumpster Pelican quarterback.
And Cole Johnson It sets up for possible play action. Did you hear that, Dak Prescott?
As they take you through all the paces, both on the field and in the boardroom, of Total Football Talk. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, exclusively on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media Incorporated YouTube channel. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central.
Welcome back to Mentality, where this is the ultimate masculine safe space with Wize and Cole. I am Cole Johnson, and we've talked about politics. We've talked about labor unions. We've actually talked about infidelity and how we should forgive and deal with things in mental health ways. Now it's time for us to have a little fun. Here is something to ponder. And just when you think we will be finished talking about Jason Whitlock, he rears his ugly head yet again. And who is the target of his ire? None other than America's sweetheart of a head coach, Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime. Yes, Coach Prime has earned being in the crosshairs of one Jason Whitlock simply because Mr. Sanders had the audacity to jump programs from Jackson State to Colorado, where he's received much more respect, where he has turned over a program that won only one game in 2022, and they have tripled that win total in 3 weeks this year. So
Yes, this is correct. This is correct.
So on the surface, it looks like we're dealing with a major league hater. And why is that? Well, it's because he felt the need to go on his own program, Fearless, with Jason Whitlock on the Blaze. And he decided to then compare Mr. Sanders. Yes, the guy who, when you see him, he's talking all such inspirational stuff to the point where people who don't play for his program is backing him and wanting him and sharing out the things that he is saying. Comparing him to the Bishop Sycamore former head coach, Roy Johnson. Going so far as to calling him, quote, Coach Scam, close quote. He also went onward to say that basically when Brett Favre was on his platform, when Brett was actually saying that he was lobbying for Prime to be the coach of Southern Mississippi, Mr. Whitlock decided to say, well, look, I know him. He is not a Christian. He is a fraud. So I will now lay out the red carpet to you. I'll roll it out and have you walk all over it when I ask the question, what axe does Whitlock have to grind when it comes to Deion Sanders?
What acts? Every
Yes.
it seems like everything Deion does irritates him. Everything. If Deion breathes a certain way, it tends to bother this man.
I breathe a certain way.
Like again, me and you've had this discussion. I am not a Christian. I'm not a religious man. I am a
Right.
spiritual person. I don't
Mhm.
follow a religion. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Catholic. Not a Buddha. Whatever. I don't follow set religion.
Mhm.
But from what I know from Christianity,
Mhm.
Mr. Whitlock, you're acting very much not like a Christian.
Oh.
You're acting very much as someone who is showing jealousy, envy,
Mhm. Oh.
because this man is doing something you only dream about. And because he's reached expectations, because he know his true purpose, now you're calling him a fraud. Now because you're saying he worships himself. Well, you have to have faith in yourself. You have to have belief in yourself to achieve what God has in plan for you. So for you to have knowledge of higher self, obviously somewhere you're not, because you're a hater, pom waver. Like my man Ray would say. This is what you like. I had this whole spew about coming out and really tearing you a new one, but the more I thought about it, the more I felt sorry for you, because again, you're talking about you're this Christian man, you're this and that, but you're acting very non-Christian. You're acting as a man who's allowed his jealousy of the fact that Coach Prime looks better than you. Coach Prime has succeeded in life better than you. He's everything you probably wanted to be coming out of Ball State as an offensive lineman, but was trash. You get that's just wasn't your purpose. That wasn't your path. But for now, for you to try to create your own path with this fake narrative and this bull narrative that you're on, because all this is showing is how weak of a man you are. That you want to try to ride the coattails of Coach Prime, and Coach Prime hasn't even responded to you, because I'm sure he's seen what the stuff you said, and he hasn't even taken
Yes.
the time to respond to you because you're beneath him. His purpose is bigger than you, and to stay. But me, I'm a little independent podcaster, so I'm gonna come full blazing for you. I'm coming for you because you're showing me what I don't want to be. Someone who's hating on a man, calling him a fraud, defamation of character. First of all, that's what you're doing. For what? For your audience? Because you're on Blaze? Because you're on whatever, man. We understand that you have a lot of you hate your color of your skin for some reason. It really irks you to see another black man succeed. And this is that crab in a barrel mentality. This is what you are doing. You're trying to bring down another black man and bring yourself up. But all you're looking is like, again, all you're looking like is the fool that you are. So yes, I was so excited. So excited to talk about you and talk about how like I said, I'm starting to feel sorry for you because you really trying to grasp at straws to stay relevant. Man, listen, Coach Prime, keep doing what you're doing. There's always gonna be haters. This fat, greasy, 12 ham cheeseburger eating mother is just choke on one of those burgers for all I care. Because again, he does not speak for black people. He might think he does, but he doesn't. We know who he represents. He represents that right. And I don't that's fine. That's what you want, because I'm not neither left nor right.
Right.
But you are going to lose this battle. You are going to lose this battle because let's face reality. You are not. There's nothing. Your personality sucks. What the you do sucks. You just suck, bro. His life sucks compared to Coach Prime. That's why I think he's really hating. It's like he goes out his way to hate. And when you actually hate so much, when you following everything he does, in all actuality, you're a fan.
Pretty much.
You a fan. So, Jason Whitlock. Thank you. Again, I want to thank you for opening your fat mouth, Lord, and saying the stupid that you say. Because it's just so touching and warming to me to really see that you're a idiot. And so continue with your fabulous journalistic talent. I am a fan. I am a fan. You know what I'm realizing? What I said to you, it's me. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. A fan that likes to tell you that you're a fat, greasy, real piece of shit. So a rap like my man Chris Bass would say. So
wow. Oh my gosh. And now, thoughts from the throne.
I actually want to take this time out and wish a happy birthday to my big sister, Mariana. As of today, this recording, today's her birthday, and I just wanted to just give her flowers because she's helped mold me into the man that I am. She's been a major part in my development as a person, and just enjoy your day, sis. Thank you for all you've done for the family. You are that rock right now that holds the family together, and hopefully you have many more to celebrate. And I love you, and I appreciate everything you've done for me, what you continue to do for me, and what you continue to do for our family. So happy birthday and enjoy your day. I love you.
You know, it's a wonderful thing when you have someone to spoil or someone to shower affection on. And it's funny that Wize talked about one of his family members celebrating a birthday, because this past week, my wife celebrated hers. And I got a chance to just simply shower her with all sorts of love, and she was extremely appreciative of it. And why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying it from an understanding and standpoint of when you tap within that beauty within you as a man and you show it unabashedly to a woman, she will eat that up, appreciate it, and give it back to you 100-fold. It should be our duty, our God-given right and duty to show love to the women in our lives, whether it is our mother, whether it is our daughter, whether it is our sister, whether it's our aunt, whether it's our niece, whether it's a friend, and definitely whether it is your wife or girlfriend or fiance. Make your missus happy. Do the things that brings a smile to her face, that makes her want to brag about you to others. Because you will appreciate when it happens and you will receive the full fruits of your labor. And that's something that as men we can understand. You put in hard work in the home, you'll receive that big piece of chicken from the missus. And those are thoughts from the throne. Anything that you have to say, sir, before we leave our audience, sir?
Nah, anytime I get to do the show, man, and it didn't go out as I expected. I thought I would have went off a little bit more, but the more I was doing the show and the more I was reflecting on it, it really just came down to like this dude really is a hater. He don't.
Yeah,
and I was realizing like I'm acting more and more like him, being a hater. And so I was like, you know what? I just want to let people know I feel sorry for him.
Thank you guys for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you ultimately for hitting the notification bell so you can get any and all content that emanates from the wonderful channel that is Real Wize TV on YouTube, where you can actually catch Poppy J and Wize El Jefe now live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on the BS3 Network and on Real Wize TV's YouTube channel. Or you can also do the same thing when not necessarily catch Poppy J and Wize El Jefe, but catch any and all content that comes from the Comey Media Incorporated YouTube channel as well by hitting the notification bell. Thank you, and thank you some more. And that'll do it for this episode of Mentality. We hope you enjoyed it. I believe we enjoyed it just as much as I think you all have. For Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, here to say imparting as we always do. Our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. See you next week.
That's 100.